Give me 1 second. All right, give me a thumbs up if you can see my slides. And give me 2 thumbs up if you can hear any volume, all right?
With a few strokes of the keyboard, it allows us to communicate with people across the globe. With a push or touch of a button, it keeps us engaged and connected. The world now pushes for higher connectivity, faster serving and downloading speeds, from 3G to 4G and now 5G. But what is also true is that with every apparent communication advancement, we are increasingly putting ourselves at imperceptible health risks. Our five senses cannot detect this form of wireless hazards, but our body can. With longer hours using wireless headphones during office meetings, every wireless device that our toddlers or children plays on, any types of microwave oven we use to bake our cakes in, or induction cookers that we use to cook our food. While this enhances our life, we are not realizing how we are exposing ourselves and our loved ones with high levels of radiations.
The World Health Organization says there are some indications of an increased risk of glioma for those who reported the highest 10% of cumulative hours of cell phone use.
The reality is there's a significant increase in glioblastomas. Unfortunately, they're very, very deadly.
I have listed peer-reviewed studies establishing the connection between non-thermal radiofrequency radiation from cell phones and brain cancer known as glioblastoma.
Most cell phones have a warning in them that say to hold the phone away from your body to avoid radio frequency exposure, but most of us don't know about this warning.
The WHO has classified EMF as possibly carcinogenic to humans, Group 2B, a category used when a causal association is considered credible.
See, my friends, radiation can harm the body internally. We need to protect ourselves more than ever to adapt to the new wireless world. Start protecting your own bodies and those around you so we can all live a better and healthier life.
Guys, today I'm going to talk to you about something called EMF radiation and why it needs to be addressed. Now, 30 years ago, which is about my age, right? So I kind of revealed my age. I was born in 1994, and I grew up in a generation where I only experienced my first phone when I was probably 14 or 15 years old. And it was one of the most basic phones on planet Earth, right? Even sending a message was difficult. You had to solve a puzzle in terms of how to type, okay? So, and I'm sure some of you can relate as well because you guys are probably about the same age as me, or even older. Now, there has been a shift because I've realized that back then, as a kid, I was blessed because I was never really exposed to any of these gadgets and I wasn't addicted to them. And I kind of grew up with them, so I kind of learned them as I went, as technology advances. All right. And the thing about that is that even back then, my mom would always tell me hey, limit yourself. You know, you're only allowed to use the computer for 2 hours a day at most. Don't use it too much. It's bad for your health. The phone as well. But the thing is, today, I don't see parents doing that. I don't see people doing that, restricting their young ones from actually using the computers for too long. And maybe it's because something has shifted in the sense that there is a certain necessity in terms of knowing how to use these devices, knowing how to be able to function a phone, an iPad, a laptop, because at the end of the day, when these children grow up, they're going to be, it's going to be mandatory for them to actually use these devices during work or to even find a job in that manner, all right? So a lot of my friends, and I've asked a lot of my friends, I did a small survey. They are newlyweds, they have maybe children of 1 or 2 years old, and they are aware that electronic gadgets have radiation. They are aware that their children shouldn't be spending too much time, but sometimes they just don't control it. You know, for example, let's say you go to a restaurant and then you see a young mother and she's trying to take care of a baby, but baby won't stop crying unless there's an iPad in front of the baby. Seen that before? Right? And that's becoming normal. And parents, I get it. It's tiring. It's exhausting. And sometimes you just need a quick solution. Hence, we just go for the easiest stuff. But they are very aware. They are very concerned but they cannot do anything about it until now, right? Because right now, guys, we have a solution, and I'm going to share with you what that solution is. So at the moment, there has been a new type of pollution called the electromagnetic pollution. And it's very interesting because you cannot feel it, you cannot smell it, and you cannot see it. And that is the problem, because it does not affect any of our senses directly. So we just ignore it. We are very well aware that it is in our surroundings because it comes from a lot of different sources. For an example, smartphones, televisions, extension cords, guys. Even your so-called harmless, very, very useful extension cords, they too produce EMF radiation. All the wires in your wall, even your light bulbs, your fan, guys, those two also produce EMF radiation. Induction cookers, very high levels of EMF radiation. EV cars. Any EV cars owner in the chat, type EV. I don't mean to call you out, right? But don't worry, EV cars, even combustion cars, normal engine cars have very high levels of EMF radiation. All right. Normal cars, even like my petrol car, when I bring my detector in there, it just goes off the roof. Okay. Laptops, air cons, lights, microwave. You know, when I remember when as a kid, I was always so intrigued by this microwave because I was just like, there is no fire, there's nothing. How's my food getting hot? So I will always stick my face like right in front of the microwave and see the food rotate, you know? And I'm like, does the food turning like make it hot? And my mom would always pull me away like, hey, don't do that. It's bad for you. It's bad for your health. Heard that before? So again, we understand that these devices actually do produce radiation. And even Wi-Fi routers, guys, right? Wi-Fi routers are also a source of radiation. So in reality, your so-called peace haven, your sanctuary, your home, kind of looks like this without the emGuarde. All right, it looks like a lot of electromagnetic frequency waves are actually coming out of your gadgets and they're actually surrounding your entire room or your house. And that is very, very scary thought because World Health Organization, WHO for short, have already classified radio frequency electromagnetic fields as possibly carcinogenic to humans. Guys, this report was in 2011, man. That's like 14 years ago. What was I doing when I was 14 years ago? I was probably playing football in the park, right? So 14 years ago, they said that these electromagnetic radio frequency fields are actually carcinogenic. And here's the very scary part. And I want you guys to write this down. I want you guys to write group 2B, IARC, carcinogenic cigarettes. Just type that into your Google search engine and you would find 170 plus chemicals that are used to produce cigarettes today are also in that category. It absolutely blows my mind. You're telling me that cigarettes that have been proven today to cause cancer is in the same category as these radio frequency electromagnetic fields? Like my brain can only imagine me walking in a room full of EMF radiation. It's like me walking into a room full of secondhand smoke or cigarette smoke. It absolutely blows my mind, right? The risk of these electromagnetic fields is that it actually can cause something called glioma, or I think the longer word is glioblastoma, all right, which is actually a brain cancer, a very aggressive brain cancer that is associated with wireless phone use. Guys, I don't know about you, but when I think back many, many years ago, 20 years ago, when I heard someone getting cancer, it was like the biggest news in your entire neighborhood. You know, people were like shocked. People were like, huh? Man, that is really so unfortunate. Oh man. But today, when that happens, what is the normal reaction? Oh man, another one bites the dust. It's as though it's something normal. And and that's the scary part, guys, because I don't think any of us would love for any of our close ones or even ourselves to have cancer. But why is it that we have just acted that it's a normal part of life? It shouldn't, right? So there are many, many factors, of course, your lifestyle, your food, the things that you drink. For those Kangen water drinkers out there, you can celebrate the best drinking water on planet Earth. All right, but there are many factors, and the one factor that we have yet to tackle is our environment, our surroundings. What is in our surroundings? Electromagnetic radiation, right? So here's a very interesting news. This was in 13th September 2023. Guys, a country, France, halted the sale of iPhone 12s over radiation levels. Can Caroline confirm this news for me? Yeah, it appeared in France, BBC, right? Guys, a whole country literally banned the biggest tech company in the world from selling their phones. Because why? The radiation levels were too high. So any of you having iPhone 12 in the car? Time to change. Get the new model, right? Guys, let's be real. My iPhone 15, there's no difference. Because believe it or not, these devices, iPhone 14, 15, 16, are probably literally at the borderline of the acceptable radiation limit. They are literally, you see Tika there having his phone and having his emGuarde, right? So he's protected, Tika is fine. Caroline is protected as well. All right. But guys, all of our devices, literally every single one of the devices are literally operating at the limit of the accepted amount of electromagnetic radiation. And that, guys, the limit is not very low, guys. It is a very lenient limit. That limit should be reevaluated 100%. And so much so, iPhone further made a kind of a clause, and they actually inserted into your phones. And when you read this document, it makes me think, hey, I've grown up as a kid learning how to use my phone like this when I talk. Don't we all do this, right, guys? So now Apple is telling me I shouldn't do this anymore. It is dangerous for me. Huh? That I should do this instead, like put it really far away? That I should have Bluetooth devices that I can connect with? You see, if you go to your iPhone, I don't know if it's actually in Samsung phones or other phones, yeah, but if you have an iPhone, all you got to do is just go to Settings, General, Legal and Regulatory, RF Exposure. If you go to Settings, General, Legal and Regulatory, RF Exposure, you would find that Apple is telling us, me and you, to please use the hands-free option, the built-in speakerphone, headphones, or other similar accessories to reduce your exposure to the radiation levels from these devices that they are producing. Apple is doing that to make sure that they cannot be sued if anything happens. Am I right, guys? That's how companies work nowadays, especially for companies that are worth billions of US dollars. Now, I want to just clarify one thing very quickly. What is the radiation that we're talking about? Because when I mention radiation, a lot of people think of nuclear radiation, all the really dangerous ones. Yes, those are dangerous. And those are categorized as ionizing radiation. All right. For example, is like your X-ray scanners in your hospitals, those CT scanners, your nuclear radiation power plants. Those are very dangerous. We stay away from them, right? But I'm talking about the non-ionizing range. But even if you look at the non-ionizing range, the range is pretty big. All right, we have 50 hertz all the way to, I don't even know what P means. What's 3P hertz? I have no idea what P means, all right? But the range is pretty big. But what is the emGuarde doing? The emGuarde is actually harmonizing frequencies between the two arrows that you see. And if you can see here, it's about maybe 3 megahertz all the way to 1000 megahertz or 1 gigahertz. So that is the range. All right, so I just want to make sure that everybody is aware of that range. So why is that range so dangerous? And I'll explain a little bit. But you want to ask a question, Caroline? All right. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you put the previous slide on, please?
1 second. Yeah.
Can you tell me where Wi-Fi routers are and if they're concerned about the harmonization of emGuarde?
Okay. So Wi-Fi routers themselves are within this range, but the signal that they produce is above this range. It's like somewhere here. It's like maybe about 2 point something gigahertz, if you can see the phone, right? So if you go to your router, if you flip your router underneath, you would see that it's usually 2.3 gigahertz or 2.7 gigahertz or something like that. Even phone calls, messaging, Wi-Fi, 3G, 4G, 5G, they're all above 1000 gigahertz.
So does that mean that we're not protected by the emGuarde with this kind of equipment? I'm asking because my goal is to approach companies who use a lot of those pieces of equipment for their employees, and I need to have some kind of good argument to back the need of using the emGuarde.
Understand. That will be explained like in a few slides time, but just to give you some clarification. Now, the reason why emGuarde is only suppressing below 1000 megahertz is because if they can suppress above 1000 megahertz, your house will be Wi-Fi-less. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like you will not be able to connect to the world at all. And it's also illegal because governments will not allow that. So, but in the future slides, I will explain why below 1000 gigahertz is more dangerous than those Wi-Fi signals.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
But thank you for asking the question. I appreciate that. So how emGuarde works is very simple, guys. So all of the devices actually do produce EMF radiation. So that with the emGuarde turned on in your home, emGuarde utilizes harmonics frequency to effectively suppress targeted electromagnetic noise radiation between 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz within a 4-meter radius. So if somebody asks you, what is the emGuarde? What is the function of the emGuarde? This is the exact words that you have to say to be 100% accurate. Right? So you can take a screenshot, you can write it down. Just take a note of a few keywords. Suppress. emGuarde does not eliminate radiation, guys, or EMF radiation. It doesn't eliminate, it doesn't destroy, it doesn't make it disappear. It merely suppresses. Okay? Targeted electromagnetic noise. It is targeting certain frequencies between 3 megahertz and 1000 megahertz. It's not covering the entire range. Because if it covered the entire range, your radio station would not be able to receive any song, any radio station whatsoever. So, but for some reason, they've identified certain frequencies that actually do cause harm to the body, which I'll explain in future slides right here. Because if you look right here, based off the FCC, which is the Federal Communications Commission's report, they say that the human body absorbs RF energy at some frequencies more effectively than others. The most restrictive limit occurs in the frequency range of 30 megahertz to 300 megahertz. And if you want to, you can actually go to this link over here. You can actually read through the entire report. In the report, there's actually a graph. All right, there is kind of like an XY axis graph. And it showed that the range, the frequencies below 3 megahertz. So I'm talking about not even mega, like hertz, like 10 hertz, 20 hertz, 3, not even mega, yeah? Our body has a very high defense against these. Means that our body just reflects these frequencies. But when it comes closer to 3 megahertz or even 30 megahertz, for example, that point, for some reason, our bodies are just defenseless. Like for some reason, our body just absorbs these frequencies. And then once it passed maybe 1000 megahertz, that our natural defense goes up again. We somehow just have a natural defense against those frequencies. So I'm not saying that Wi-Fi, 3G, 4G, 5G is not dangerous. It is dangerous, but it is less dangerous compared to the frequencies between 30 to 300 megahertz. All right, so you can do some research about it. You can go and especially if you want to read through this particular bulletin document, you can actually go through it and you can actually study why we shouldn't be worrying too much about 3G, 4G, 5G. We should be worrying about this particular range right here. And further on, the FCC reports that the reason why it is so dangerous for us because it's our body organs are actually functioning within this range. Your brain is about 72 megahertz. Your human body is about 62 to 78. Your heart is about 67 to 70. So on and so forth. So our organs are actually have its own natural frequency. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, that's a lot of questions.
No problem. Go ahead.
Can you go on the previous slide, please? So between the 30 megahertz and the 300 megahertz, do I understand correctly that the body is functional at an optimum level between that range and that EMF, electromagnetic fields that go within that range perturbs the body?
I didn't quite catch what you said, but maybe I just clarify myself again. Within 30 to 300, the human body is defenseless. For some reason, the frequencies within that range interacts with our body at the highest level. Our tissues, our bones, our bone marrow somehow absorbs these frequencies into our body, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. It does. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Now, you must be wondering, okay, let's say these frequencies exist in our surroundings. How is it affecting my body? Well, there is something called the resonance theory. I'm going to play a little short video on the left side for you to see what the resonance theory is about. So there we go, guys. That's how the resonance theory works. And right now, I'm going to show you a little small test. All right, I have my emGuarde here, and I'm going to, let me just stop sharing my slides so I can show okay, you guys see me bigger now? So I'm going to unplug my emGuarde. At the moment of time, I'm unprotected. Oh no, just for a while, all right? So over here, I have something called a 𝐏𝐫𝐨 SDR device. So if you're wondering what an SDR device stands for, it's over here, if you can focus. It stands for Software Defined Radio. So think of this as a radio, all right? It takes a signal and it transmits it into something audible for us, all right? So if you guys remember, you can type in the chat for me. What was the frequency of our brain? If you guys can remember. 𝐶72, right? Thank you so much for answering. All right, so right here, I've actually tuned the 𝐏𝐵. My antenna is a bit wonky, but I've tuned the 𝐏𝐵 to what? 72 megahertz. So if you're wondering what mega is a million or 6 zeros. All right, so that's what mega is. So I've tuned it to 72 megahertz, and you can see right now, this decibel reading is pretty noisy, and you can see like a constant green, kind of a waterfall spectrum right here. All right. So I'm not sure if you guys can hear this. I'll try my best to see if it's audible. Can you guys hear that? Okay, you guys can't hear that. I think it's because of my Mac's noise cancellation thing. But I just want you guys to take a look at that. I want you guys to see this particular level, yeah? And I'm going to plug in the emGuarde right now. And I want you guys to see how much less noise it makes. All right. In 3, 2, 1. Oops. 1. There we go. You guys see that? Do you see that this particular section, it fell? and now it is blue. If you guys could hear it, it's a lot more quieter. Like I can turn up the volume all the way and I don't hear a single thing. If I unplug it, it comes back to green. emGuarde is unplugged. You can see right there. All right, it comes back to green, and this particular part just goes up again. And if I plug it back in, it just goes down to blue, and it becomes a lot quieter. Now, Caroline asked, what is that noise? Well, it is pretty much the EMF radiation interference, because at the end of the day, frequency is noise. All right, it's a noise. There is some sort of noise to it. It's just that this particular device, the 𝐏𝐫𝐨, makes it audible for us so that we can actually listen to what it is. And if you have a 𝐏𝐵𝐴, if you've seen a 𝐏𝐵𝐴 go before, it actually is very, very noisy in the surrounding until the emGuarde is turned on. It actually goes completely quiet. It is similar to the previous detector, the one with the circle, right? It goes beep, 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 and suddenly you turn on the emGuarde, it just go quiet. So similar way, but very two different detectors. One is detecting the power density of the radiation. The other one is just detecting the frequency in our surroundings. And that's why I put it to 72. Just to show you that in our surroundings, there is 72 megahertz frequency interacting with our brain. Okay? So over here, there's a very powerful doctor that he has shared with us why adults are not so, why adults, okay, we are in danger, but if you have children in your home, they are at more danger than us adults. All right, so take a look over here. His name is Dr. 𝐶𝐿𝑉𝐴 Singh, if you want to Google who he is.
The children's brain, like the hypothalamus, it tends to absorb 1.5 to 2 times more electromagnetic fields than an adult. But if you look at the child's bone marrow, it absorbs an amazing 10 times more electromagnetic radiation than an adult. The brain is much more absorbent, the skull is thinner, and because the relative size is smaller, if I give you the same dosage, your smaller tissue is going to absorb more than the bigger tissue. The first thing you have to do is keep the appliance that's emitting the radiation further apart from you, like handphones, off all power points when they're not in use. Number 3, you could use electromagnetic field harmonizers, which will balance out the radiation side effects from the appliance.
There you go. Yep, so I typed the detector's name in the chat. If you just go on your Google search engine and type it in, I'm not sure which, I know in Asia, Shopee, Lazada, and all even in eBay, you can find it. Maybe not eBay, I'm not too sure. But in Asia, we can find it pretty easily on most Shopee or Lazada websites. If you're outside of Asia, I'm not too sure because I don't have access to your region, so I can't just Google it and find out what provides it. Yeah. So over here, Dr. 𝐶𝐿𝑉𝐴 said what? Children, their hypothalamus, their brain part, absorbs 1.5 to 2 times more radiation than adults, and their bone marrow absorbs amazing 10 times more radiation than adults. The only reason for that is because, hey, children are still they're still developing. Their bone structure is not full, their muscle tissue is not full, and they need to be protected at that tender age. All right. Now, this is coming to us adults. I have no idea what all this means, to be honest with you. I didn't go through it, but I saw this and it intrigued my mind because I hear a lot of news, okay, about men who actually have very low sperm count. Not only that, their sperm vitality is very weak because men like to store their phone in their front pockets. Am I right, guys? You know, those who are with me here. I mean, it's convenient, right? We have pockets, we use them, we put our phones, we just walk around a day and our hands are free, right? But here's the thing, reports have been showing that it's actually connected. And if you want to protect your manhood, guys, maybe time to not put your phone in your front pockets or even your back pockets. Just hold it in your hand. It's not that heavy, okay? Not only men, guys, women as well. I've seen a very weird trend on TikTok and Facebook recently. Women like to put their phones in their bralette. Why? They have handbags. Why put it in the bralette? I don't get it. And because of that, there's also been another study saying that women who like to put their phones in their front bralette, there have actually been increase of breast cancer. Right? It all makes sense, guys. Right? So here's the thing. It is not new news. It's been going on for a very long time. There's been many, many reports. A lot of radio stations are even reporting it. They're even telling, hey, man, don't put the phones in your front pockets. You know, radio stations are doing it too. So we need to take more precaution, understand that these devices, yes, they are very useful for us, but they can cause harm. So we need to, at the very least, when we can, put these devices further away from our body. Now, this is a survey that was done in 2019. This survey was about 871 participants, and they responded to basically how EMF radiation is affecting their everyday lives. 71% of them said that they have a lot of sleep problems. Now, I don't know about you, but prior to emGuarde, I used to have a lot of sleep problems as well, because I have a very bad habit of using my phone, watching Instagram, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff before I try to fall asleep. You know, I know you guys all do the same. Yeah, I'm not the only one here. But that's the thing, because I do that, you know, people talk about blue light, I don't know what, yellow light, blue light, affecting my melatonin and everything. Yeah, I get it. But I know some people who also don't do that, but they charge their phones next to them and they still find it difficult to sleep. So one key benefit of having the emGuarde in the house is that people generally sleep better. People actually, even with the habits that, yes, I have, I still use my phone before I go to sleep, I actually still wake up fresh every single day. I don't feel tired. I don't feel lethargic. So the emGuarde actually helps to improve your sleep. Ask anybody who's been living with the emGuarde for a while now, and they'll give you the same answer, all right? And guys, if a product can improve my sleep, I'm sold. Like, give me. You know, I don't need any more convincing, because guys, I need sleep. We all need sleep. Sleep is important. If you don't sleep well, you're not going to function well the next day. Full stop. Fatigue, concentration, memory, or learning problems, stress and anxiety, as well as headaches. All right. So guys, the list goes on and on and on. I think for me, it was mostly the sleep problem as well as dry eyes. I used to have a lot of dry eyes because I work on my computer non-stop. And another problem for me is that I always feel like I'm out of breath when I'm using my laptop. It feels like I'm running a marathon for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not sure if you guys have ever experienced this. Like a couple of hours through using your laptop, you just go like, you're just like gasping for air and you have to take a break and you just go somewhere else, right? So many, many problems today related to EMF radiation. And that's the reason why, guys, we need to seriously consider having an emGuarde in our surroundings, all right? So the emGuarde is the technology available today, the solution that we have today to protect us and our families from the harms of EMF radiation. And if you're wondering how big of a coverage this device has, it is about 8 meters of defense in diameter, 4 meters in radius. All right, so it's like one big bubble. Think of it as one big force field. All right, I have a question here by Leonard. How does the emGuarde suppress OPR harmonized frequencies between 3 megahertz? Does emGuarde emit some other frequency? The easiest way I can explain it is the emGuarde has technology, has a microchip, has a chip. I don't know what chip in here, okay? This chip is able to detect the frequencies in your surrounding, and it's able to send out a kind of like a counter frequency. Think of it that way, all right? So there's a counter frequency coming out that's actually stopping or even canceling, sorry, not canceling, suppressing these frequencies from going any further. You know, I think if you see some YouTube videos on like waves, you know, our ocean and everything, what happens when two waves of similar magnitude hit each other? They just cancel each other out. Am I right? Those waves, then they hit each other and then it's cancel each other. This became normal. So something similar to that. I'm not technical enough to explain in deeper details, but from what I understand from listening to the intensive trainings, that is what I can picture in my brain. Harmonic frequency, 36 megahertz. Yes, another frequency that emGuarde does harmonize is 36, right? Which leads me to my document here, guys. This is a document from a Malaysian science facility, a government-owned science facility. We actually send the emGuarde to test. Hey, is the emGuarde really doing what it's supposed to do? All right. So here are the results. emGuarde, if you want to read with me, result number 1, emGuarde successfully performed as required at distances of 1 meter all the way to 6 meters in radius. So it's not 4 meters, it's 6 meters. So is it good news? Yes. I've even heard of some news that people's emGuardes have covered more than 6 meters, up to 8, 9 meters as well. Now, what causes this disparity, these differences? Well, your wall. You know, your wall has concrete, there's a lot of metal bars in there. Even windows, glass objects can affect the efficiency of an emGuarde. So I recommend if you do get an emGuarde, put it somewhere that is open. It is not covered. It is not kind of like neighboring any other things. It's just by itself somewhere high, which can also cover the upper floors and the lower floors. So keep it in an open space, right? Now, the second result that this science facility has found is that emGuarde effectively suppresses unwanted electromagnetic noise waves between 35 megahertz to 37 megahertz, 71 megahertz to 73, and 107 to 109. So now we know a few frequencies that the emGuarde is targeting. And if you notice something, they are actually multiplications of 36 megahertz, somewhat like that. That's what I've learned, I've noticed. All right, so 36, 72, and 108. So it's somehow in that range. So over here as well, we have a kind of a table. You see residential space, working office, laboratory. All right, so laboratory, I don't think any of us, we spend a lot of time in a laboratory, so we can ignore that. But in a residential space, our homes, the percentage of suppression from 1 meter to 6 meters, if you take a look, guys, it's 99.8, 99.9. The lowest I see is 93.7. So that is the level of suppression of the emGuarde on electromagnetic radiation in your home. In a working office, okay, not as great as the residential space. Why? Because in a working office, there are a lot of metal objects and there's a lot of glass objects as well. So that, guys, can really affect the efficiency of the emGuarde. All right. I think I saw a question. Ray says, how can I access or have your new PowerPoint presentation, Egbert? Please. I got good news for you, Ray. All you got to do is go to Telegram group and you will find that slides there, because that's where I download my slides. Seriously. That's all I did. So all the updated slides will be posted in the Telegram group. You just have to scroll up a little bit and you will see the slides there. Caroline asked, does it mean that does that mean that if doesn't suppress outside those ranges? So I cannot answer yes or no. The reason for that is because when the emGuarde went into the testing, of course, when you go to a science facility, you need to tell the science facility what are the frequencies that you want to test, right? You can't be testing every single frequency from 3 to 1000 megahertz because the science facility is very busy, right? So you only have a very small allotted time for you to actually test. So, but based off the budget, right? The budget, the frequencies that are not so important. What I mean by not important, the frequencies that are not related to your body organs. All right, like your brain, your heart, your liver, those frequencies are all being suppressed. But the frequencies that are not close or related to the body organs, those have no effect. The emGuarde doesn't cancel those frequencies out at all. Yeah, so that's what I found out with the budget as detector. So my testing 36 suppresses, 72, 71 to 73 suppresses, 108 it also suppresses. So that's what I've tested so far. I haven't really done the others yet. Okay. By the way, there's also an intensive training on this. I believe David Chang, he will probably do an intensive training maybe this month or next month. It doesn't happen very often because he's a very busy man. He is the more technical person when it comes to all these finer details. So how do you get updated on that? It will be posted on the Telegram group. Yeah. So,
this is called the SD.
Okay, so this is a video, a very interesting video. It is a detector similar to this, but this detector needs an Android phone. So for any of you Android users, this could be a detector that you can buy. It is called, I'm going to type it in the chat for you. It's called RTL SDR detector. All right. Wait, there's one question. If emGuarde suppresses only frequencies between 3 and 1000 megahertz, why does RD show 0 when emGuarde is turned on? Okay, good question. Because the RD is not detecting frequencies. The RD is actually measuring the power density of radiation in the measurement of microwatts per centimeter square. Very technical, right? I know you guys are like, wait, what? What's all these big words? Yeah, so I'm going to break it down. 𝐏𝐫𝐨 SDR device measures, so it doesn't measure, it captures the frequencies in our surroundings and turns it into audible sound for us. Okay? The RD9300 or even the RD9100, it measures the power density of radiation. Meaning, let's say you have two detectors in your house. You have the RD 𝐏𝐵 and you have the RD and the 𝐏𝐵. So the 𝐏𝐵 shows you the frequencies in your surroundings, but it doesn't show you where it is coming from. Get it? The RD pinpoints specifically where those radiation sources are coming from. So if you literally stand in the middle of your room and you turn on your RD, most chances it will not detect anything. But the closer you move to maybe your phone, your laptop, your television, or even your light bulb, the closer you get to it, that's when you start seeing the RD make a lot of noise. And the amount goes up to like 2000, 3000 microwatts per centimeter square. Right? Now, I want to be transparent with you guys. The reason why I'm not sharing with you the RD9300 is because they are no longer in production. The company that produces these detectors have stopped producing them. So whatever stock you see, it is literally the last. It's like ancient dinosaur, literally. Okay? We are looking for other detectors that can help. There are some on the market, but they're very expensive. You're looking about $2,000 just for one. Is that duplicable? No way. Is everybody going to get one? No way. Compared to this is about $100. Yeah, so the future in moving on with emGuarde, we will be using the 𝐏𝐵 SDR device. So if you didn't get your hands on RD, sorry. If you manage to find one, do get one, all right? But if you don't worry, there is still the 𝐏𝐵 or even this RTL SDR detector. Okay, just to be transparent with you guys. Rambilo, all right, this is going to be the last question. I'm going to continue my slides, okay, guys? Because I'll answer your questions later as I go. Now, which type of batteries you should use? I particularly use lithium alkaline batteries or lithium and alkaline batteries. I've even used something like this. I have a spare literally with me. You know, it's an Energizer Max. Personally, I haven't had any issues with different types of batteries. I've used everything and it all works. But I understand that some people have had that issue. And I think the company recommends alkaline batteries. All right, so alkaline would be the safer choice. Now, over here, I'm going to play a quick video. If you guys want to find out what the radiation levels are in Hong Kong, take a look at this video. Yeah.
This is called the SDR software, and it's gonna actually detect the electromagnetic interference in this area. So what David is gonna do now, he's going to actually turn on the software. You can download this software on your Android phone. You just have to pay a couple dollars, you get the software. So I want you guys to see. Just zoom in on the phone, Ben. You can just take a look at this. I don't know if you guys can hear it. So the software is connected to a dongle that connects to an antenna, and the antenna is receiving the interference around this room. It's unbelievable. Take a look at the chart. It is crazy, absolutely crazy. We have not seen this anywhere else. Okay, so now what we want to find out is, if we have the emGuarde, what can it do to us and what can it do for us? So it's not connected. Now I'm going to put next to the SDR software. I'm going to turn it on in 3, 2, 1. Look at the wave spectrum. It's gone down. I'm going to unplug the emGuarde.
Talk about this suppression.
All right. Take a look at the suppression, guys. Here, take a look at the suppression. Boom. With the emGuarde turned on. If you guys are watching this, I want you guys to bring your emGuarde everywhere you go, especially in cities like this, and make sure you always keep yourself protected. See you guys soon.
Yeah, so you guys are wondering what that noise I was talking about with this device. It was pretty much that noise. All the and then suddenly becomes quieter. All right. So that is what the SDR does. It basically turns all the EMF radiation, the frequencies in your surrounding, and turns it into audible volume for you. So imagine, guys, imagine your brain is actually receiving all these frequencies and all those noises are impacting your brain. You must ask the question, why is it when I use my laptop for too long or my phone for too long, I get a headache? Guys, your brain is very, very hypersensitive to frequency. Very hypersensitive, all right? So let's move on. Now, I believe this particular test needs to be done by everybody, especially if you are going to do the emGuarde business, because it will give you a lot of clarity as well as a lot of confidence in the product. Because over here, taking from Dr. Magda's Harvest research, all right, she has research about how electromagnetic pollution, electrosmog, affects our body, in specific, our red blood cells. So she, in her study, she said in a clean EMR environment, a healthy red blood cell will look something like this, where it's actually kind of separated, the cells are far from each other, they're fast moving and everything. But when you expose that red blood cells or your body to EMF radiation, what happens is that it actually starts to stack on each other, like coins. They start to group together, they coagulate together, and she calls this the Rouleaux formation. All right, it's a French word. I think I pronounced it right. Rouleaux formation. All right, thank you for confirming, Caroline. Now, the Rouleaux formation, she said that it actually leads the body to poor circulation, low oxygen transport, reduced waste removal, headache, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, numbness, tingling, and cold extremities. Now it makes so much sense why when I use my laptop, I actually feel like I'm out of breath. Like I really feel my body is low oxygen. And sometimes I just have to stand up, I have to go for a walk, go to the park or something just to refresh myself. I'm sure you guys have experienced this before. All right. So Rouleaux formation does happen. Why? Because we actually tried it out ourselves. You know, this over here was one of my team members. He is from Malaysia. He's about late 60s. He went to a reputable clinic called the 𝐾𝐿 Clinic in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And he actually got the doctor to do the test for him. All right. It is an actual certified doctor, right? Get it done properly. So this doctor, he took a blood sample of on his finger. He pricked his finger to take a blood sample. And before the blood sample, he was using his phone for 20 minutes before the emGuarde was turned on. And you can only imagine the amount of Rouleaux formation in his blood. Okay. Now, 20 minutes after the after the emGuarde was turned on, and then continue another 20 minutes of mobile phone usage. Take a look, guys. The cells are kind of obvious. They're round. You can see them kind of moving around. So my question to you is, would you like your blood to look like the one on the right or the one on your left? I think no brainer, we want the one to look on the right, right? So I've done this test myself. I got a lot of videos on me. If you want to go and see the full video, I will type in the chat for you. It's actually on YouTube. It is called Dr. Roland emGuarde. So the video is there. You can go take a look as well. There is also another one by Medi Cohen, blood tests, emGuarde. So this Medi Cohen is also one of my good friends in the business. He is from Morocco, and he has kindly shared his video on YouTube for us to take a look. All right. Thank you, Caroline, because I really had no idea how to spell that. I had no idea. I was actually thinking in my head how to spell that word. All right, so that's how it's spelled. Voulox formation. You can research about Dr. Magda Harvest's research, and you can find more clarity there. So, guys, with all this information, I think now we have more clarity about the problem at hand. How EMF radiation has been affecting us and will continue to affect us moving forward. Just to give you some specific details, the Earth's population is about 8 point something billion people. Correct? The amount of electronic gadgets that are on planet Earth is close to or under 21 billion. We are almost approaching 1 person to 3 devices on an average. And that number predicted by 2050 will reach 1 person to 20 devices. Guys, literally at me right now, I have my phone, I have my laptop, and I already have my AirPods. It's already 3. And some of you, perhaps you have more. All right? So the number is stagnantly going up, guys. We need to do something, hence why I feel emGuarde is the best solution. Why? Because it's easy integration. You just have to install it in your house. Just plug it in. I'm not asking you to change your hours, reduce your hours in terms of electronic gadget usage, because I know it's impossible. We all need to work. The coverage is 8 meters. It's quite a big coverage. It can even go further if your house is open and or free. It is a very versatile product because it uses Type-C cable. Type-C cable right here, right? And it also connects to a USB-C cable at the other end. So you can actually travel with this device anywhere. I go on planes, I plug it in to those power points in the airplane, and I bless the others with emGuarde. I protect the entire flight with my emGuarde, right? It doesn't interrupt the flight. It doesn't interrupt any of the instrument panels, nothing. It's completely safe. And I've walked through multiple checkpoints at the airports. Nobody has ever asked, what is that? Ever. All right. We also have SGS certification, which is an international certification, stating that this device is safe for home use. One big device, one big coverage for all your whole family. Low running costs, guys. It doesn't cost anything to run this device in your house. And last one, important, no maintenance. This device doesn't require any maintenance because there's no battery and there's no moving parts inside. So you're asking now, what is the lifespan of an emGuarde? It is minimum 5 years. After 5 years, you can expect the coverage to reduce by certain percentages over the years. Because again, there is something called electronic fatigue or electronics fatigue, right? So electronic panels, chips, and everything will deteriorate over time. And that's a very normal process. Where can you use the emGuarde? Everywhere, guys. I travel sometimes to different cities in Malaysia. 4 or 5 hour drives. I also plug it into my car. And hey, I feel absolutely refreshed when I'm driving. I don't feel tired at all. Your bedroom, your kids' bedroom are probably the most important parts in your home to protect yourselves when you have the emGuarde. So put it somewhere central that can actually cover all these areas, yeah? So emGuarde, our tagline is change your environment, change your life. Because right now in our environment, there is a lot of EMF radiation noises all around us. We cannot hear them, but they are ever so present. If you're wondering, how much does it cost for me to protect my family from EMF radiation? The retail price globally is $1,480 US. Do take note there are certain price differences because of taxing and everything in different countries, yeah? But the global price is $1,480. Now I'm going to break it down for you. It is very cheap. If you think about it, if let's say this device only lasts me 5 years, after 5 years, it just stops working, right? In 5 years, I would only spend less than $250 per year to have this emGuarde in my house protect me and my family from EMF radiation. Can you afford $250 a year? Of course. It's actually very affordable. If you break that down into months, you're looking at 12 to 13 US dollar per month for the next 5 years. I know some, like my brother, he lives in New York. One salad costs 40 US dollars. That's crazy. I was mind blown. All right. So to be fair, I feel emGuarde is very, very affordable. And in many, many countries around the world, there are many installment plans or also easy payment schemes that you can actually approach with the Enagic office to invest yourself in an emGuarde. Okay. So opportunity is here, guys. I feel that moving on in the 21st century, this problem will only get much bigger. So right now we have a very good permanent solution to protect us and our families. So I'm done with the product presentation and I'm going to lead into the business presentation because I want to share with you an opportunity. At this very point of time, in most countries around the world, emGuarde has only existed for less than a year. America can recently start ordering their emGuardes from Malaysia, Canada as well. All right, it was only recently that Nigeria started bringing in the emGuardes. It was only recently that Dubai started to bring in emGuardes for people to buy. Around the world, the awareness of emGuarde is literally at 0%, very close to 0%. And right now, all of us are at a very opportunistic moment to be pioneers, distributors for this technology in your country. So I'm going to share with you how you can be part of this business and what is it in for you financially if you do take on this business seriously. All right. I see some questions real quick. Let me answer them. How about a guarantee? Yes, the guarantee is 1 year warranty. My emGuarde is already more than a year. I have not dropped it. Don't drop it, please. Do not drop your emGuarde because that's how you can spoil your emGuarde. Yes, merger. We have all the recommended ISOs like 9001, 14001, and all the others as well. Yeah. If emGuarde is less, workspace due to increase movement, will you worth good emGuarde? You could, Caroline, you could. What I did was I actually approached a company. Maybe you heard them, Shangri-La. So I approached Shangri-La main office in Malaysia because I actually knew the director there, and she was actually somebody that was very knowledgeable in EMF radiation. So when I brought one emGuarde, I realized it was not enough. So she actually bought 3. And with the 3, it pretty much covered most of her offices. And she had a massive server room as well in her office. Yeah, I'm gonna unmute you so you can ask a question.
But putting the 3 in the same space, or did you spread them out? Because what I want to know is that because it has an 8-meter diameter protection, but you're saying that it's less effective when there's a lot of presence of metal and glass.
Yeah.
If we put, for instance, 2 emGuardes next to each other, would it be effective or is there no point?
No point. It doesn't build on each other. It's,
okay.
For example, like if you put emGuarde in point A and point B, so if you distance it itself, your maximum can be like 4 meter, 4 meters. So in between those 2 emGuardes can be 8 meters. If you know what I mean. Yeah, so that is that's how you install it.
It's if I show that spreadsheet that you showed earlier on with the percentage of protection with the residential space, working office, and laboratory,
yeah,
and that they see that the workspace is much lower than the residential space,
Yeah.
they'll want to know what that can be done to increase the level of protection. So what can I answer to that question?
Okay, so how I would go about that is that because we don't know how the laboratory did the experiment in the offices, right? They could have very well just put it right next to a metal table or something metallic.
Okay.
What I would do at a general standpoint is when I'm installing an emGuarde, I would try to put it isolated by itself somewhere high. Maybe if you could find like a wooden shelf or a wooden table, all right, put it there. That would be the best place to have the emGuarde. If you see like generally windows or even mirrors, then you kind of know to not put the emGuarde too close to that.
Okay.
Yeah, this
Okay.
basically the frequencies just get reflected up. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, most welcome. Maja says, I plug emGuarde into my car. I must be. Nah, please don't drive over 500 kilometers a day. I think that's very tiring. It's very tiring. ISO 9001. I think the other one is 14001. 14001. Yeah, I think that's the standard ISOs that most factories must have. Will 𝐿 be releasing emGuarde website on all country back offices? There's actually already a centralized website called www.emGuarde.com. There you go. So it's actually a all-in-one website for every single country. I believe right now we have a few languages already in set. So you can go there and change the language if you want to. What materials emGuarde does not penetrate go through? It is metal and glass. Yeah, metal and glass. Any metal compound, any glass compound, it will not go through. Plastic, okay. Concrete, okay. Wooden, best. It goes through wood. Okay. We did have it in our back office, but then they took it away. I'm not entirely sure what back office you're talking. Is it the EWS back office or is it the DGS office? I'm not too sure which back office because for me, okay, EWS. Unfortunately, I don't use EWS in Malaysia. We don't really use EWS that much. It's different in the US. I understand that, but I'm not sure why they removed it. I have no idea. It's probably 𝐿 decision. So, but we have the website, so we can just use the website for now. Brenda asks, if I put it in the main floor in my house, does it reach the basement and upstairs? Yes, if you put it on your main floor, but elevate it a bit higher. Yeah, don't put it on the floor, maybe put it on a top shelf or something. Yeah. Michelle, I'm afraid I can't answer that question for you. I'm not sure why they removed it. Perhaps you can email 𝐿 and ask them why. Yeah. All right. So without further ado, let's get into the business, guys. I'm going to share with you the potential and the opportunity at hand. Let's say right now you have a connection with emGuarde. You say like, hey, this device can be something big. And you can already think of, I can introduce this product to a few people and they would genuinely be very interested in getting one. All right. So what is it in for you? How can you build this business to become a career for yourself? And how can you actually turn the emGuarde free for yourself as well? So I'm going to share all this with you. So without before I jump into the business, I want to share about 𝐿 because 𝐿 needs some recognition. 𝐿, again, guys, are the manufacturers of the Kangen water machine. It is the best drinking water on planet Earth, and I will never, ever, ever trade my Kangen water machine for anything else in my life. Literally. I've owned my Kangen water machine for 12 years now. I've fell in love with it. I've seen miracles happen with Kangen water in my family. My mom from diabetic has now basically U-turned back and become normal. Her high blood pressure is also controlled down, and she's actually taking less and less medication. Her diabetics, no more medication whatsoever. All right. So Kangen water is very well known around the world. At the moment, 43 offices in 26 countries. So that's how big 𝐿 is. 𝐿 is also 51 years old. Last year, about 8,000 distributors from around the world went to Okinawa to celebrate 𝐿 50th anniversary. And if you're wondering, yes, 𝐿 is a Japanese company. headquarters in Okinawa, and the factory for the Kangen water machines are in Osaka. So not a small company, a very big international reputable company that you are partnering with. So take that in mind. The 𝐸𝐿𝐺𝐵 business is a business with no monthly qualifications. You do not need a KPI, you don't have a KPI. You don't have to hit that KPI every single month to maintain your distribution or anything like that. So it becomes very stress-free for us. You know, we can decide when we want to go crazy in this business, you know, because I understand that many times in our lives, we want to do something, but there are a lot of distractions as well. So 𝐸𝐿𝐺𝐵 makes it very, very easy for us to start. No inventory of stocks. Whew. Wow. Thank God. Guys, I can tell you firsthand, I've tried doing a distribution business before when I was much younger. I bought a lot of stocks, over $10,000 worth of stocks. And I think 2 years later, I couldn't sell half of it. It is very stressful because your money is already invested in, and if you cannot sell it, it's burnt. 𝐸𝐿𝐺𝐵 makes it very risk-free for us because you don't have to have stocks. You're merely order takers. You connect the customer to the company. They deal with the shipping and the payment and everything, and you just receive commission. How about that? Easy. Very, very easy for us. Yeah. No annual renewal fee. You don't have to pay some sort of fee for you to become a distributor every single year. Accumulative group sales means that the company actually pays attention to your sales. They will have a full record of all the sales you have done. And the more sales you do, your future direct sales, you actually get more and more commission. So your commission actually climbs higher and higher over time. Isn't that great, guys? Huh? Global business. Guys, you can do this business anywhere in the world. I'm in Malaysia, but I have team members in Thailand. I have team members all the way in where is it? I have team members in Cambodia. I have team members in Singapore. I have team members in Philippines. Hey, I can do this business anywhere. There are no borders and there is no restrictions whatsoever for you to do this business. But there are some countries that you can't. All right, China is one of them. Very hard to enter China. And the other one is actually Saudi Arabia. So those two countries, very, very against these type of businesses, direct selling. But other parts of the world, hey man, go crazy. All right, patented compensation plan. This means that the business, the commission structure that you are going to spend your time with will never change. How about that? Because it has never changed in the past 30 years and it will not change moving forward. It is a patented compensation plan. Legacy income inherited, meaning that you can actually build yourself in the business to a certain rank, and the company will actually reward you passive residual income every single month. Because right now you have achieved a rank and the company wants to take care of you. And if anything were to happen to you, touch wood, that passive residual income will continue to come into your family via your children. It's inheritable. All right, so it's actually something that you can build and you can leave to your family in case of any emergency or anything like that, right? And lastly, guys, untapped market. Meaning that, guys, I want you to try this experiment. Just go and talk to the next 10 people that you smile at. Right? If you make eye contact with them, you smile, then just go and ask them a question. Hey, have you heard of electromagnetic radiation? I think probably 8 out of 9 or 10 will say, yeah, I've heard of it. And then ask them a second question. Have you heard of emGuarde? I can almost guarantee you 10 out of 10 will say no. I've tried it. I tried it before. I've made a couple of sales. Genuinely. I actually went, I own a cafe in Malaysia. So when customers come in, I make friends with them and I ask them, hey, do you know about EMF radiation? They're like, yeah. My daughter spends too much time on her phone. Oh my gosh, I cannot stop her. It's bad for her. She knows it's bad for her. I say, hey, I have a solution. Have you heard of emGuarde? No, I've not heard of emGuarde. What is it? There we go. You have a connection. You have something to work on. You have a lead, right? So untapped market, guys. Types of commission in the business, plenty. But I'm going to talk about the first one, which is 8A or 8 points commission. This will be the biggest commission that you will encounter when you start doing this business. So 𝐸𝐿𝐺𝐵 is a direct selling system. All right. And for you to be part of this direct selling system, you have to invest $10,000. I'm kidding. You don't have to invest anything. All you got to do is just buy one emGuarde. It is that easy. How much is emGuarde, guys? $1,480 US. You gotta be kidding me. You're telling me I can start a global business at $1,480 US? Seriously? That is the opportunity at hand, guys. You know, at such a low price, man, my risk is almost nothing. So yeah, let's say right now you buy an emGuarde, immediately without any additional cost, maybe you got to pay a small fee for direct selling association parts of the world. I'm not too sure which parts. In Malaysia, you got to pay a very small fee of $10 US to register yourself with the direct selling association in Malaysia. But that is not even to 𝐏𝐸𝐺𝐸, that's to another company, right? But guys, there's no other hidden costs. Just buy one emGuarde, you become distributor. You start selling this to all your friends and family. You introduce them, you share the love of emGuarde. They buy, you make direct sale, you make direct sales commission. Simple as that. But the interesting thing is that the people that bought from you, they too can become distributors. And they can go and share emGuarde to their own friends and family. And when that happens, you make indirect sales commission. 𝐏𝐸𝐺𝐸 is so generous, they are paying you 2 types of commissions in your organization. Amazing. All right. So let me get to how much you make. All right. So this is the 8 points commission, 8A or 8 points commission. We know that the emGuarde is $1,480 US globally. So that is the price. But within this price, 𝐏𝐸𝐺𝐸 has already allocated a preset budget of how much? $520 US per sale for the distributors, for us. And this $520 US is split into 8 equal parts, or 8 A's. So just imagine a pizza. This pizza has 8 slices. And every single slice is an equal amount of $65 US. Now, how many slices of pizza you take per direct sale you make depends on the rank that you are. Of course, right now you just joined, you've not made any sale yet, you would have no rank. Your first rank comes in when you make your first direct sale. You become a 1A distributor for 𝐏𝐸𝐺𝐸. And you will make $65 US, and your second direct sale as well, you will still maintain a 1A rank, and you will also make $65 US. But the moment you make your third direct sale, you get promoted to a 2A distributor, and guys, your commission doubles. Now you're earning $130 US for every emGuarde that you sell. Just on your third direct sale, guys, and your income has already doubled. After 2A, naturally it is 3A. And for you to achieve your 3A rank, you must first achieve 10 cumulative emGuarde group sales. So keyword here is group sales. You don't have to sell all 10 yourselves, guys. You can have 5 directs, 5 indirects, each of your direct refer 1, you have 10. Your next direct sale, the 11th sale, you become 3A and you earn $195 US. I don't know about you, but even in Malaysia, selling one product and earning $195 US is pretty good in my books, right? I'm not sure about you guys, but for me, it's pretty good. Because for me, I'm confident myself, I can sell at least 4 to 5 a month. And that's what my track record has been showing. These are just my personal sales, guys. I also have my team sales moving forward, all right? So 3A to 4A, you need to have 20 cumulative group sales. Your next direct sale, you become 4A, and now you start earning $260 US. It gets better, guys, because after 4A, 5A, your group sale count will continue to grow because some people might join you in the business. Some people might say, hey, I can refer this to my friends and my family, my neighbors. Your group sale will continue to grow. it will hit 50. And right now, every single time you sell an emGuarde, you earn 325 US dollars. It will continue to grow again. And the top is 6A. After 200 cumulative group sales, your next direct sale, you become 6A and you earn 390 US dollars. Now, guys, if you notice this, right? 6A, 200, 390. 4A, 20 group sales, 260. If you think about it, 𝐏𝐸𝐺𝐸 makes it very rewarding even from the start. You're telling me after 20 group sales, I'm already making 260 US dollars per sale? That is the strategy that 𝐏𝐸𝐺𝐸 has, because they want to reward the newcomers to make them feel like, hey, I'm actually earning money. They want to feel like they're getting something, financial rewards. Because when that happens, they are motivated to continue and to grow in the business. And one more thing here is cumulative, meaning that every single sale that happens in your organization will always be added and counted. And if you achieve 4A, you are 4A for life. You can disappear for 3 years. You come back and you are still a 4A. Man, like some companies out there, if you disappear for a year, you're gone. You're not in the system anymore. You get reset. But 𝐏𝐸𝐺𝐸, they appreciate you. They value you, and they want to keep you around as long as possible. So if they say, hey, your account is still there, you are still 4A, you make the next sale, you get the same commission. Is that good or good? That's absolutely amazing. All right. So these are the ranks. These are the direct sales commission based off your ranks. But 𝐏𝐸𝐺𝐸 also pays indirectly. All right. So let's do this exercise together very quickly. Let's put ourselves there. Everything in green is your commission in US dollars. So right now, you make your first sale to Tom. You become 1A. You make 65. You make your second direct sale to Alex. You are still 1A. You make 65. Then you make your third direct sale to Rose. You get promoted to 2A. And now you make double the commission, 130 US dollars. But what happened now when Tom says, like, wow, Tom is like, hey, you're selling emGuarde. I want to try to sell too. And he sells one to Grace. He will earn his 65. You will also earn 65. Any sale that falls under Tom or Alex, you will earn 65 US dollars. This is what we call your 1A overriding lane. This also applies to, let's say, your 2A overriding lane, Rose and Kim. Meaning, if Kim were to sell 3 emGuardes, you would earn 130 times 3. 2A overriding lane. Every sale under Rose or Kim, you earn 130 US dollars. It's like planting trees, you know, planting apples, you get apples. You plant oranges, you get oranges. And now, after 10 group sales, you can plant papayas. Because you now become 3A, and every single time May sells, you get a papaya, which is 195 US dollars. So think of it, guys, as you're opening new franchises. And when you open these new franchises, you need to train, you need to onboard them, you need to give them knowledge. And imagine if these people, they get the knowledge and the training and the confidence, and they just start doing the business by themselves. Isn't that like opening a franchise? The only thing is, the risk for every single franchise is practically zero. Zero risk. It's only reward. The risk is you spend all the time, you train them, but they do nothing. It's okay. Just move on to the next person. Simple as that. All right. So again, here under your 2A overriding lane, every single sale under Kim, you make 130 US dollars. But where does it stop? Because hey, 𝐏𝐸𝐺𝐸 has a budget, right? The budget of 520 US dollars that is divided into 8 equal parts. Let me show you how these 8 equal parts are paid. John makes a sale to Don. It is John's first sale. So John will make 65 US dollars, or we call it 1A in our company. The next person that gets paid is Bob, because Bob is the one that introduced John into the business. But John falls under Bob's third direct sale line. So Bob is a 2A distributor, so he makes 2 points. Same thing, Ani, 2 points, Kim, 2 points. If company only have 8 points as budget, they've already paid out 7, 1, 3, 5, 7. That leaves you with 1 point. So instead of receiving 130, you are now receiving 65. Same thing with John's second direct sale. You also earn 65 because it is still John's 1A sale. But when John makes his third direct sale, he gets promoted to a 2A. He now earns 2 points. Bob 2 points, Ani 2 points, Kim 2 points. Hey guys, 8 points are already paid out. It is finished. Meaning you get 0. And you, from this sale from John to Dan, you get cut out of the 8 points commission. And you will not receive any commission as well, as it does not count as a group sale for your rank advancement purposes. So Energic's very fair. They are telling you upfront 8 points top to down, but unlimited from left to right. So if you take a look at this, guys. Yes, 8 points top to down, but can Ali continue selling? Yes. Can Ani continue selling? Yes. Can Bob continue selling? Yes. And you can continue introducing more people into the business, increasing your rank after the group sale count figure has reached. You now become 4A. You introduce Tony. Tony buys emGuarde. You make 260. And guess what? Every time Tony sells an emGuarde, how much do you make? 260 US dollars. Is it worthwhile for you to go and help Tony build his business? Train him, give him the knowledge? Absolutely, right? It's rewarding. 5A, after 50 group sales, 325. 6A, after 200 group sales, 390 US dollars. Guys, this is the 8 points commission. It is a very profitable business if you do it correctly and if you do it fast. It is not going to be easy, I can tell you that first. It is very difficult, but I can tell you up front, it is easier than starting your own cafe. I've been running a cafe for almost 11 years, and believe me, I've regretted opening the cafe to today. It is a lot of work, it's a lot of commitment. It's as though I'm working for the cafe instead of the cafe is working for me. And there's a lot of business out there as well, which also pretty much falls in the same category. I know people who started businesses and they are slaves to their businesses, even though they're the bosses. I'm sure you guys have experienced this before. But in the Enagic business, are you a slave? No. Can you just go about doing your day and sharing emGuarde with everybody you meet? Yeah. Does it pull you down? Does it chain you down? Absolutely not. So I love this business because it gives me a lot of free time. It gives me a lot of opportunity for me to scale my business to whatever scale I want to grow. If you think about it, guys, this business opportunity is unlimitless. It is literally limitless. Like you don't, like there is no limit to it. You can scale it to however big you want. It all comes down to whether how hungry you are and how dedicated you are in terms of building this business. And at the end of the day, guys, what's the worst that can happen? You buy an emGuarde and you don't sell a single emGuarde to anybody. At least you still have the emGuarde. Right? That's the worst that can happen, guys. The worst that happen is that you're just down 1,480 US dollars because you invested it for your family and yourself. The business is actually for free. Like it's just there if you want to do it. So this is the 8 points. And that is the opportunity at hand. If you're interested to get involved, please speak with the person that invited you for the Zoom call. You know, I always believe that you need a good team. You need a good leader in your team. You need a circle of driven people who have the same drive and the same ideologies as you. All right. I'm very happy that I've met my team in Malaysia. They have really excelled me in the past few years I'm almost a 6A2. All right. And they've really helped me a lot, and I've learned a lot from them. So I would say if you're really serious about the emGuarde business, don't do it alone. Find your sponsors, find the people above you, ask them, how can we do this business on a bigger scale? Strategize with them. Don't do it alone. That's my personal recommendation to you guys. All right. So personally, this is how I see how big the emGuarde business is. You know, if you have any people with families, children at home, that's a huge market for you. If you know anybody that travels anywhere on planes very frequently, hey, that's also a market for you. If you know people that drive a lot every single day, combustion cars or EV cars, that's also a market for you. If you know people who are very tech-driven, they love technology, they like to get involved with all the latest tech, they're always buying the latest tech, that is a market for you as well. And if you know people who work from home or in office every single day, they're surrounded by all of these electronic gadgets, hey, that's also another market for you. Essentially, guys, I want to tell you this up front. You are not salespeople. You're actually doing them a really big favor by introducing the emGuarde to them because they need it. Essentially, you guys are actually lifesavers. What if you can literally prevent anything from happening to your friends' children from EMF radiation? You guys are lifesavers. Genuinely, that's how I feel. And that's my approach when I go and talk to people. I come out with a genuine, sincere heart to share my love for them by trying to share awareness on EMF radiation and the solution to protect them with it. So for me, if they say no, I just feel sad because, man, if only I could get them to see the bigger picture and the awareness behind it. I'm not sad because I don't earn money. Generally, I'm not. I'm just sad because I'm like, if only I got the message out better. You know, that's my point of view. So you guys are not salespeople. You guys are lifesavers. If you're interested where to find out the latest details or latest events, please follow both of these things. We have the Telegram group. You can scan the QR code. And the second one is actually something that we are building now, and this is for everybody around the world. It is called emGuarde to the World. There's a lot of new information. There's a lot of new videos that will be posted there, testimonial videos that you'll hear about emGuarde as well. Just follow it on Facebook and you can get yourself attached. Also, be adventurous, explore that Facebook group because there is actually a lot of videos at the back end of the Facebook group where it will actually show you how to do demo, how to present, how to approach people, what are key invitational sentences that you can say to people to get them curious about emGuarde. Heck, if you want to find out, go to the page and you can find out all about this. All right. Now, this is an upcoming event if you are living in Europe. Caroline, I know you are from France, so you can attend this on the 5th of April. Yeah. These are the dates for the specific countries. If you're interested to find out a lot more about emGuarde, this is the best opportunity because over here, Mr. Simon Loh and Mr. Ming Wei, they are my sponsors and uplines and my best friends, and they are very, very, very bullish and passionate about the emGuarde business. And they are even willing to go around the world on their own expense. This is literally not sponsored by Enagic, guys. This is literally on their own expense to spread the awareness on emGuarde around the world. So if you're in that country during that date, please attend. Please. All right. It will do you a lot of good because it gives you a lot of clarity. If you can, try to speak with them one-to-one. and ask them questions about the business or even the product. They will share a lot of insights to you. Okay, so you can screenshot it. I will change the slide in 3, 2, 1. Now, this is another event happening in Malaysia. So this is the one that I was speaking in the beginning. If you're keen on coming to Malaysia, to visit Malaysia, this is the perfect opportunity. Because now you're not coming just for vacation. You're also coming here for work, to explore more about this business, the 𝐸𝐸𝐺 business. Now, I'm going to explain about this. I'm going to take some time here because this particular event is actually created by a very successful distributor from Asia. All right. And the one principle that I've always learned from this, my mentor, my personal mentor, is that knowledge is supposed to be given to everyone. Because this event, from the start, was never just for his team members. It was literally for everybody and anybody. And in most cases, a lot of you guys in this group call, you guys are nowhere related to his team whatsoever around the world. But he's opening up this event so that he can share the knowledge and he can help distributors around the world to grow their 𝐸𝐸𝐺 business. Happening on the May 10th and 11th. Now, very quickly, this distributor, he's a rank of 6A7-6, all right? And his group sales at the moment of time is over 8,000 group sales around the world per month. So he literally, from Malaysia, he went to India, and from India, he went to Dubai. From Dubai, he went to Turkey. He expanded to Nigeria, to Australia, to UK. Man, he has team members in probably 20 countries around the world. Now, if you learn from somebody like this, do you think that your business would expand exponentially? That your chances of success in this business would be better? 100%. Because I, as well as Mr. Simon Low, as well as Mr. Xiaoming Wei, would not have joined this business if we did not attend this workshop. So I would say, do not come alone. Bring your team members. Is pretty much your A to Z of the business. The do's and don'ts, the secret nuggets that you need to incorporate into your business to expand your business effectively. What is the future of emGuarde as well? Because that's happening on the May 11th. How big do we see emGuarde is going to be? And guys, at the moment, there's almost about 700 people who have already registered for this event. All right. And the maximum event room can fit is 1,000. So if you miss, you miss. So there you go. If you want to find out more about the training, go to www.fhptrainings.com or just scan this QR code and it will connect you to the ticket booking place. I would say Malaysia is a very vibrant city. It's very affordable as well. You know, you're not going to break your bank by coming to Malaysia. I think the most expensive thing would be the flight ticket, perhaps. But relatively, everything else is very affordable. And don't worry about communicating because 80% of our population speaks English. So you're going to be okay. All right. That's all I have for you guys in terms of my presentation. Now, I'm going to open the floor to any questions whatsoever. Let me just take a look here. Below, you're most welcome anytime. Next time when you're holding emGuarde Zoom, can someone choose the diploma? Yes, Merja, 100%. Please bring new people into this call. I would say if you're not already taking advantage of this platform, you're like a couple of steps back already. So feel free, invite as many people as you want, send the link to whoever you want and start exposing them to emGuarde. Yeah. Compensation slides. I believe they are actually not in the Telegram group. I need to double check. But what I can do is I can ask from permission from the admin to see whether I can post that slides in there. And if I can, I will post my full slides in there for you. Yeah. Does the Facebook page contain the links towards the videos you showed so that we can embed them into our slides? The videos that I showed, I don't know if they're in there, but I know they're in the Telegram group for sure. The Facebook page has new videos, new updated videos. That's all I can say. But if you just go on YouTube, you'll be able to, like, just type emGuarde in. I'm sure there's like a lot of content that's already coming up. The few people that you should kind of pay attention to, because these people have been very knowledgeable, and is Simon Low. He has created a lot of videos. 𝐏𝐫𝐸𝐿 as well. He's a distributor from Morocco. He's very knowledgeable as well. He's posted a lot of things. And the last one is emGuarde to the World YouTube channel. Yeah. Do we have the same schedule next week? Yes. And next week, you will be hearing the presentation from somebody else. He's a very good friend of mine from India. His name is 𝐿 Kumar, and he's a 6A4-2. All right. So he's a very successful distributor. He actually went to Dubai to spread eMagic. He was part of the team that opened the Dubai market. So it's the same time, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And just a reminder, tomorrow as well, there's also going to be a Zoom call like this. So Merja, please invite people. Yeah. Caroline, will they talk about technique side of emGuarde? I don't know what they're going to be talking about, but I can guarantee you for sure the information then will be a lot more detailed than the ones here. Because this particular Zoom is meant to just be a preliminary exposure. All right, because there's a lot of information that if I do talk about, I think you guys will be scratching your head. Because I used to scratch my head too. All right. Thank God I'm a science student, so I kind of understand what's going on. So, but I think for Simon Dale, when they travel to those countries, they will be getting into more details as well. There will also be David Chang there. He is also going to be at those events, so you can actually ask him more technical details if you see him, right? You're not going to miss him. He's the three most Chinese people looking guys there, so you're not going to miss them, right? Don't worry about it. All right, so I think that's all the questions I see. Thank you so much for the questions, Caroline. I really appreciate it. Helps to keep the chat lively. And for those as well who have commented, thank you for giving me your praises. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm not doing this for praises. I'm doing this out of love because I genuinely see very big potential for this, and I want all of us to be successful, especially in the eMagic business when we come to building it. All right. So that's all I have for you. I bid you good night, or even good morning or good afternoon. For me, it's night. It's past midnight for me. But I wish you guys good rest and all the best in the emGuarde business. Yeah. See you guys at the top, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon in person. Bye. Bye-bye.